Hello, my dear students. Exams are coming, no? Don't you worry one bit. We're going to make this chapter, Journey to the End of the Earth, super easy for you. Ready? Let's go. Okay, so just imagine this. The author, Tishani Doshi, traveled all the way from our Madras, hot and humid South India, to Antarctica. Can you believe it? The coldest, the driest, and the windiest place on the whole planet. It took her more than 100 hours. Why would anyone travel so far? Chilo, let's find out. Now listen, this was not some simple flight booking, okay? This was a proper expedition. She had to cross 9 time zones, 6 checkpoints, 3 massive oceans. First by car, then a plane, and then finally getting on this huge research ship to reach the very bottom of our world. So after more than 4 days of just traveling, when she finally saw Antarctica, her first feeling was just relief. But right after that came this incredible feeling of pure wonder. Just try to picture it, a huge, endless sheet of white as far as you can see with nothing to block your view. It's so big and so empty that it makes you feel, well, very, very small. Standing there in all that ice, the author started thinking, how could India and Antarctica have ever been part of the same land? It sounds completely crazy, right? Our warm country connected to a continent of ice? But believe me, bachon, millions and millions of years ago, the world map looked very different from what we see today. So get this, about 650 million years ago, all the continents in the south, India, Australia, South America, Africa, and even Antarctica, they were all stuck together. It was one giant supercontinent, and it was called Gondwana. And you know what? The climate there was much warmer, and it was full of plants and animals. And the most important thing? No humans. We weren't even around back then. So look at this timeline here. For about 500 million years, Gondwana was just there, doing its thing. But then, around the time the dinosaurs died out, this huge piece of land started to break apart, just like a big paratha tearing into pieces. And our piece, India, started drifting north, and bam, it crashed into Asia. And that giant crash created, you guessed it, our mighty Himalayas. Bachon, listen carefully. This is a pakka exam question, okay? Make a note of this. See, by studying Antarctica, we learn about Gondwana. And understanding Gondwana helps us understand where we all came from and, more importantly, where we might be going with all this climate change. It connects our past to our future. But Antarctica doesn't just teach us about our ancient past. No. It holds a very, very serious warning for our future. Because in the very short time we humans have been on this planet, we have made a lot of noise and created a lot of disturbance. Human civilization has only been around for about 12,000 years. In the Earth's long, long life of millions of years, our entire history is just a few seconds on the clock. It's nothing, just a blink of an eye, really. Just look at this. On one side, you have the Earth, taking millions of years to change and evolve naturally. And on the other side, you have us. In just our tiny 12,000 years, we've built huge cities, we've burned so many fossil fuels, and we've created this thick blanket of carbon dioxide around the Earth that's trapping all the heat. We have really created a ruckus. So why is Antarctica the best place to study all this? It's because the continent is pristine. That's a good word for you to remember. It means it's still pure, untouched by humans. The ice there is like a time capsule. It holds carbon records from 500,000 years ago, trapped in layers like pages in a history book. It tells us everything about our Earth's past, present, and future. Okay, now we are coming to the most important part of the chapter, the main moral of the story. And believe it or not, this big lesson is hidden inside the smallest of creatures. We are going to talk about something called phytoplankton. This is the most important message in the whole chapter. You should write this down and remember it for your answers, okay? Take care of the small things and the big things will fall into place. A beautiful thought, isn't it? Let's see what it means in Antarctica. So what are these phytoplankton? Oh, right, they're just tiny, microscopic grasses that live in the sea. But, and this is a big but, they are the foundation of the entire food chain in the Southern Ocean. Everything depends on them. The small krill eat them, then the bigger seals and penguins eat the krill, and even the giant blue whales depend on them for food. But here is the problem. Scientists are now warning us that because of global warming and the hole in our ozone layer, these tiny phytoplankton are in trouble. And if the smallest, most basic form of life is in trouble, then the whole system falls apart. It's a chain reaction, you see. If there are no phytoplankton, then the krill have no food. And if there's no krill, then the seals, penguins, and whales have no food. The whole beautiful system is in danger. So this brings us to the final, very powerful lesson from this amazing journey. After seeing all of this with her own eyes, the author learned something really deep about our planet and about the very important role that your generation, all of you, have to play in its future. The author talks about this one moment that was just magical. The ship got stuck in the ice, and so the captain told all 52 people on board to get down and walk on the frozen ocean. Can you even imagine that? You're walking on a sheet of ice 1 meter thick, and you know that right below your feet there are 180 meters of cold, living, breathing salt water. What an experience. You know, that walk on the ice was a revelation for her, a real eureka moment. She finally understood, deep in her heart, that everything on our planet is connected. The smallest little phytoplankton is connected to the biggest blue whale. The melting ice in Antarctica is connected to the weather patterns right here in India. Everything is linked. The chapter ends with this very powerful thought. A lot can happen in a million years, but what a difference a day makes. It's a reminder for all of us that our actions today, this very day, no matter how small they feel, can make a huge, huge difference for the future of our planet. Something to think about, isn't it? Okay, my dear students, study well and all the very best for your exams. You are going to do great.